very good afternoon and welcome to Africa Today. I am Uduak Daniel. First, let's talk the headlines. And on the headlines, federal government disowns list of national honors nominees. Still on the headlines, Ukraine foreign minister begins Africa tour in Senegal. Also on the headlines, extremist attack in Somalia kills at least 20. And on sport, federal government to honor late Yakini Joshua. And now the news in detail. Federal government of Nigeria has described the purported list of nominees for national honors being circulated by some online media organizations as fake. The government, however, debunks the list in a statement issued by the Director of Press, Federal Ministry of Special Duties and Intergovernmental Affairs, Julie Jacobs, and stated that it would publish the authentic list at the appropriate time. This was gathered as the media over the weekend was awash with a series of names purportedly on the list of Nigerians to be conferred with national awards. The list of nominees, which has now gone viral on the internet, has however generated criticisms, especially over the caliber of people nominated for the awards. Speaker of the House of Representatives Femi Gbajabiamila says Nigeria needs leaders with the capacity to manage rapid domestic and global changes to achieve prosperity, peace, and security. Gbajabiamila said this at the opening of the Legislative Mentorship Initiative workshop titled Building the Next Generation of Nigeria's Public Sector Leaders on Monday in Abuja. The speaker said the quality of decision-making in politics and governance, which would define the course of the country, was dependent on the capacity of leaders to adapt to the rapid changes.
Election outcomes must reflect the will of the people, and citizens must have confidence that they can hold political leaders accountable through the ballot box. The essence of democracy is that state power can only be legitimately exercised by those who have the mandate of the electorate to do so.
Gbajabiamila said that LMI aimed to identify and train the next generation of public sector leaders, particularly the legislature. The workshop was organized for 74 young Nigerians, including persons with disabilities, selected across the 36 states of the Federation, and that is the FCT. National Drug Law Enforcement Agency has arrested a suspected billionaire drug baron and chairman of Automation Motors Limited, Ugochukwu Chukwukadiba. The spokesman for the agency, Femi Babafemi, in a statement on Monday said one of Chukwukadiba's 6 mansions in the Lekki area of Lagos State was raided by operators of the agency, leading to the discovery of 13 million pills of illicit drugs, 225 milligrams worth, 8.8 billion naira in street value. Babafemi said the bust happened barely 2 months after the agency uncovered a methamphetamine laboratory in the residence of another drug kingpin on the estate, Chris Nzewi, who was arrested on July 30, along with a chemist, Sunday Uka, who cooked the illicit drug for him. Reacting to the latest drug haul, the chairman, chief executive officer of the NDLEA, retired Brigadier General Mohammed Marwa, commended officers and men involved in the operation for their diligence, while also appreciating Nigerians for supporting the agency in its task of ridding the country of drug abuse and illicit drug trafficking. On to matters that concern the strike and the Nigerian National Association. Always a delight to have you back. Burkina Faso's new junta leader said Monday that the West African nation will still aim to hold an election by 2024 or even earlier. The power grab by Captain Ibrahim Traoré is the latest setback for the regional black bloc known as ECOWAS, which has tried to steer 3 of its 15 countries back towards democracy after a spate of coups in West Africa over the last 2 years. Burkina Faso's latest coup, announced Friday on state television, has raised fears that the country's political chaos could produce more violence for the region Islamist extremists. ECOWAS had reached an agreement with the ousted leader, Lieutenant Colonel Paul Henry Sandaogo Damiba, to hold the new votes by July 2024. Meanwhile, a visit from an ECOWAS delegation was postponed from Monday to today, local media reported. Burkina Faso's last democratically elected president was overthrown by Damiba in January amid frustrations that the government had not been able to stop extremist attacks. There has been sparse media coverage in Senegal following a visit to Dakar by Ukraine Foreign Affairs Minister Dmytro Kuleba, who is embarking on an African tour. The Ukrainian diplomat met Senegal's foreign minister Assisata of Kivu province. To yet another story, police in South Africa are investigating the killing of a German tourist during an attempted carjacking in the eastern Mpumalanga province. The victim was part of a group of 4 German tourists who were laid on Monday evening while traveling towards a safari lodge at the Kruger National Park. The gang is said to have ordered the tourists to open the doors of their vehicle, but when the driver reportedly locked all the doors, one of the suspects shot him through the window, police said. Local police said the tourist died on the spot and the suspect sped off without taking anything. An attack by Islamist extremist fighters Somali government headquarters on Monday has left 20 dead and 36 wounded. The Somali-based Al-Shabaab claimed responsibility for the attack in Beledweyne, a town more than 300 kilometers north of Somalia's capital, Mogadishu. Earlier on Monday, Somalia's government announced the death of a top Al-Shabaab leader, Abdullahi Nadir, over the weekend. The government said the attack has been carried out in partnership with the U.S. military in southwest Somalia. UN Secretary General Antonio Guterres condemned the attack and reaffirmed the UN's commitment to peace in the country. And now let's go very quickly to the business news and have you know that Nigeria's crude oil revenue jumped at 11 trillion naira in the first 6 months of 2022, according to the latest data from the National Bureau of Statistics, that is the NBS Foreign Trade Statistics for the second quarter of 2022. According to reports, decade-long ban that had been imposed due to health fears. This will end a 10-year ban placed on the crops by the former leader of the country. It comes as the country is experiencing a devastating drought. The genetically modified crops as a way of helping boost yields. It says the country needs seeds that are resistant to drought, pests, and diseases. A decade ago, the production and import of GM crops was banned due to concerns over possible health risks. Still to come on Africa Today Sports. Stay with us.
Welcome to Sport News on the World Now at 4. I'm Richard Badung. Late Rashidi Yekini and 2-time heavyweight world champion Anthony Joshua are set to receive national honors from President Muhammadu Buhari at the State House in Abuja on October 11. Yekini, who died 10 years ago after a protracted illness on May 5, 2012 in his native Kwara State, will be awarded with the posthumous member of the Order of the Niger Award. The prolific striker scored Nigeria's first ever goal at the World Cup against Bulgaria at USA 1994 and led the way as they won the Africa Cup of Nations the same year. He is Nigeria's top international scorer with 37 goals from 58 games. Also, two-time heavyweight world champion Anthony Joshua, whose father hails from Shagamu in Ogun State, will be awarded the office or the officer of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. In September, Buhari had earlier conferred different national honors on athletes that won medals at the World Athletics Championships in the USA and the Commonwealth Games in Birmingham, the United Kingdom. Former Nigeria captain John Mikel Obi says picking Chelsea over Manchester United in a highly controversial transfer in 2006 was the best decision of his career. The midfielder, who retired last week at the age of 35, was the subject of a bitter dispute between the Red Devils and the Blues in 2005 before signing for the latter the following year. Mikel became one of the club's most decorated players within the Champions League, Europa League, 2 Premier League titles to his name, 2 League Cups and 4 FA Cups in an 11-year spell, which ended when he left Stamford Bridge in 2017. The 35-year-old started his career as an attacking midfielder and was undoubtedly one of the best in that role. 150 MN Shillings Stadium, set to be one of its kind in the Mount Kenya region. Daniel Gachara, the Athletics Kenya Nyeri chairman, said there is disappointment among athletes from Nyeri who have been forced to train in Nyahururu, due to the lack of an adequate facility in the vast county. In 2017, retired President Uhuru Kenyatta commissioned the construction of the stadium, whose upgrade was estimated to cost 450 million shillings, including the installation of a tartan track. And that's your sport news on Africa Today. Back to Udwak for the rest of the news. I am Richard Badum.
Quite a conversation on sports. The part that got me would be the Nyahururu. Anyways, welcome to Africa Today. And still talking more stories. No fewer than 422 inmates who escaped from the Kuje Medium Custodial Facility, Abuja, during the July 5, 2022 jailbreak are yet to be recaptured. The Nigerian Correctional Services spokesperson Umar Abubakar had said 5 persons, including an officer of the Nigerian Security and Civil Defense Corps, and 4 inmates died during the attack. Hours later, the Islamic State in West Africa province claimed responsibility for the attack. According to we told you federal government disowns list of national honors nominee. We also told you Ukraine foreign minister begins Africa tour in Senegal. We brought to the 4 extremist attack in Somalia kills at least 20, and on sports, federal government to honor late Yakini Joshua. Remember to visit us on Facebook at Hills TV, Instagram at Hills TV. Our YouTube channel is at Hills TV. I am Udwak Daniel. Thank you for watching.